we please stop mentioning that word? I'm trying to get a win. Hell, I'm 0-2. All right, I'll be lying to somebody to be like talking about playoff football, bro. The important thing for me, bro, is, and no disrespect to your question, it's just like, yeah, we know what the grand scheme of things is, but the reality is like I'm 0-2. Like the feel good story of Cam coming back. Like, and I said this then, and I'm gonna say it now. This ain't no Cinderella. Like, I'm here to win football games, but you know, as someone once told me, playing a divisional game, it counts for 2. So this is a must win for us for more reasons than one. And this is not desperation football by no means. This is playing the game that, you know, we feel that, you know, we have to compete early. We have to strike early because it's more or less about respect than anything else. And I think you got a lot of competitors in that locker room that's ready to rock and roll on Sunday.
The Carolina Pro Football Report, presented by National PAL. Support National PAL at nationalpal.org.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN. And welcome back to Bank of America Stadium. The Panthers are back in the comforts of home this week, and that means the home crowd advantage, which they will need as they get set to host the 5-7 Atlanta Falcons, as well as deal with the most recent losses in the lineup, including star running back Christian McCaffrey. And as you just heard, Cam Newton talking about focusing only on today and not on the playoffs, and wanting to go 1-0 this week. But a win today, however, is needed to keep their playoff hopes alive beyond this week. And if that wasn't enough pressure, it's been a crazy week inside the confines of the bank on all fronts. Former Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator Joe Brady was released last Sunday after he failed to restart the rushing attack in a manner satisfactory to head coach Matt Rule's game plan. To fill the position, Rule kept everything in-house, installing longtime friend and Panthers running backs coach Jeff Nixon as the latest play caller this season. So, the good news, the Panthers are currently second in the division behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who own the best record in the NFC South right now, and the Panthers are tied with the Falcons and the Saints, who are coming up on the schedule. And Colin, this week is a tough week for guys, especially like Cam Newton, who are still trying to get used to this Carolina system, but they seem to be in good hands with new offensive coordinator Jeff Nixon, and somebody you seem to know a little bit about.
Absolutely. I had the opportunity to coach with Coach Nixon during the offseason last year, and just really got an opportunity to see what they were about. And that offense is really explosive, and he has the inner workings and inner knowledge of that offense, and expect to see a really explosive offense take the field, but definitely back to the running game, because being his running back roots, I'm definitely sure that Coach Rule has had that conversation with him and wants to see that running game take off this week. And so, yeah, I'm sure that we're going to see those backs get plenty of touches this week.
So one of the things that's been a big issue is what they're doing on third down, converting on third down, very low numbers on that. Matt Rule addressed that on Friday. Let's take a look.
We only averaged, 3 yards a carry, with the backs, last game. I mean, they did a nice job defending the run. I think the thing we were able to do was convert third downs to run the football. So, I've talked a lot about when you want to run the football, you have to play good defense. You can't be at a deficit. You have to convert third downs and stay on the field. So I think it's all those things together. Dean Pease, their defensive coordinator, is a man I look up to. I tried to get a job with him way back when he was the head coach at Kent State. He's always been very nice to me. He's going to have his defensive unit prepared, to take away different things. And so it'll be us doing what we think we do well. We're going to have to throw the football really well this game to win the game. So it'll be quite a matchup, but both in terms of, the pass game and the run game. So hopefully we can run the football, but a lot of things go into running the football, and a lot of those are how our defense plays, explosive plays, and really third down. Third down is as important as anything to me this week.
Well, Matt Rule certainly making it clear where they need to start the work to get better here and get a win today against the Atlanta Falcons. But third down conversions are a must.
Third down conversions are a must. Currently, they rank near the bottom of the NFL at third down conversions. I think somewhere around 29, somewhere around there. So they have to be able to stay on the field. They got to be able to keep these drives going. So you got to look to those guys for really doing a better job this week to look to check downs as well as using the backside of the backfield and going to the tight end more. I think that's been a concern that we talked about throughout the year, and I think that's something that they got to utilize. And that's something Cam has done throughout his career. He's definitely had an outlet in Greg Olsen that's been helpful for him throughout his career, and he's utilized the tight ends. And I think that's one thing that's going to do. The other thing they got to be concerned with, Kevin, is the O-line and the penalties, right? That's been a big monster for this team throughout the season. Can they be consistent on the O-line, and can they stay away from creating these penalties? That's going to be, can they do that and be consistent on third down, stay on the field, maintain these drives, and keep our defense off the field, and keep that potent Matt Ryan. He's still a potent quarterback. Keep him on the sideline.
Now, one difficulty for this team is they don't have Christian McCaffrey.
Correct.
But they do have some great backs in Abdullah and Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard, that's right. And, I think that they've proven themselves. I mean, especially in the last matchup, those guys had some tremendous output. So look to those guys to really get the bulk of the carries today. And, obviously we're going to see one carry the ball a little bit, right? But definitely want to see what those two backs could do coming out today against this Atlanta defense that has given up some pretty decent yardage on the ground as well.
Well, Colin, we've talked a little bit about them. Let's take a look at some of the key injuries for Carolina. We've got Christian McCaffrey, as we mentioned, on IR. J.C. Horn with the foot injury, still on IR. Dante Jackson is out for the season, groin injury. John Miller, ankle, out. Michael Jordan, hamstring, out. Trent Scott in the COVID protocol. So a tough week for the Panthers, especially on the O-line where they have been struggling all season trying to figure out the right combination. Well, Colin, a lot of injuries, but every team has that in the NFL right now. It's late this season. This is when it happens.
Absolutely.
But they'll be facing these Atlanta Falcons, and as you know, no team is different. No team is the same the second time you see them.
No question. This Atlanta Falcons team will definitely take the field with a different attack. They will look at, they're two familiar opponents. These two teams know each other very well. The one thing about this Atlanta Falcons team is they're still led by, like I mentioned earlier, Matt Ryan, who has a good history against this team. And they have to be able to, for the Panthers to come out with the win today, like we talked about, we have to be able to control the ground game. Got to be able to get that guy off the field on third down. So controlling the ball on third down, creating those opportunities to have those conversions on third down, and then obviously getting those guys off the field on third down. Hassan Reddick is one of the tops in the league in sacks this year. His sack totals are going to have to go up today along with Brian Burns. Those two guys have done a great job together coming off the edge. And so, hey, you know what? This is a great opportunity. He's up there in Pro Bowl battling as well. So I'm excited to see what he can do out here against an Atlanta Falcons team who is susceptible. They've given up sacks throughout the season. So I'd love to see that come out today.
Well, as we talked about, Colin, no team is the same. Atlanta kind of falling off in the rushing game. They're up and down this year, really. Over the last 2 weeks, they've got a little bit of a spark, but overall, this is a rushing attack that the Panthers should be able to keep under control.
Should be able to keep under control. However, the thing about it that we got to remember, Kevin, is the two-headed monster that Atlanta has in Cordell Patterson and Mike Davis. Those two guys have combined for not tremendous yardage, but those two guys have been a tremendous spark for that offense. Cordell Patterson out of the backfield, obviously as a receiver first, his ability to catch the ball and be just a playmaker out of the backfield. And when he gets the ball in his hands, not only there, but in the return game, he's been a proven player throughout his career. So Cordell Patterson is a player we got to be concerned with. Mike Davis, this team is very familiar with, obviously, and they rank near the bottom of the league in output in various areas, but still a very vaunted offense and could wreak havoc. So this defense is going to have to do a very good job in containing them on both areas and really getting after them.
Now, one of the other things that the Carolina defense will have to contend with today is controlling Pitts. He's the tight end for the Atlanta Falcons, he wrecks the joint when he comes in, basically.
No question.
But Gilmore, who covered him last game, did a great job. He's only going to get about 45 or so snaps today. He's not going to get, the full range of snaps. How does that affect this defense, and will that be enough?
I mean, this guy is a threat in so many ways when he gets his opportunities. I mean, we see the mismatch that he creates. He's a downfield threat. I do remember the interception to end the game by Gilmore when they were going to Pitts in that last game. So they're going to target him regardless. When he gets his opportunities, when they put him in the game, they're going to definitely go towards him. However, he's not a dominant blocker currently. He's a guy that is better in flexed out and being more of a receiver. So when he is close in position to be a blocker, I don't see them going towards him or utilize him, especially if they got him on a snap count. So I think he's going to definitely be more of a receiver guy today, and the Panthers are going to have to recognize that, especially in those rundowns, and recognize he's more of a decoy in that arena. So looking forward to see how they utilize him. We know his receiving abilities, but we're going to see how healthy he is.
Now, you heard Cam Newton at the top of the show talking about, actually not wanting to talk about going to the playoffs. They wanted to stay focused this week. Well, we want to check in with Carolina Panthers Spanish radio host, analyst Antonio Ramos about this team's realistic chances on making the playoffs this year. Antonio.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for having me again here in the show. We're back after a long bye week with the Panthers sitting at 5-7 with still some chances to make the playoffs. They control their own destiny. 4 of the last 5 games are against divisional opponents, and they have a difficult trip to Buffalo next week. But before talking about playoff chances, they need to focus on the Falcons this week. I would pretty much say that this is an elimination game for both teams. If the Panthers win this Sunday, we can start talking about playoff scenarios. But first, they need to correct a lot of mistakes, eliminate penalties, bad special teams. They will have the 9th different combination on the offensive line in this season. I think Matt Rule and new coordinator Jeff Nixon are going to commit heavy on the run. The Falcons Run Defense is ranked number 22 in the league. They allow 119 yards per game. I know it sounds cliche, but they need to establish the run early on with Chuba Hubbard, with Cam Newton, and Amir Abdullah. On the other side of the ball, they need to put attention to Kyle Pitts and Cordell Patterson, 2 very physical and dynamic players. And as I said recently, this will be an elimination game for both teams. Divisional rivalry. The last time that Carolina swept the Falcons, we have to go back to the 2013 season. So hopefully they can do the same thing this year and expand their playoff chances. The real problem with Carolina's chances of making the playoff this season is that they have the tiebreak criteria against them because of the losses with Washington, Minnesota, and Philadelphia. So this weekend will be a must-win for the Carolina Panthers if they wanted to expand their playoff chances.
Well, Colin, we can't have a Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN without your keys to the game. What are you seeing today for a Carolina win?
Well, Kevin, for me, I got to be honest, the biggest key to the game for me starts with the running game. Can this running game get back on track? Can Abdullah and Hubbard get back on track, or I should say get on track, and really lead a vaunted running game that we need in terms of just creating those third and short opportunities and really creating those opportunities to convert on third down. That will lead to that. Secondly, can Hassan Reddick and Brian Burns create havoc and really get after Matt Ryan like they were able to in the last game? That would be a key to the game in terms of just being able to throw that offense off of their keys and throw them off target, throw them into third and longer situations. And then simply third, win the game. This is a winnable game for this team against a weaker Atlanta opponent that's coming into Bank of America into a hostile environment. Just win the game. That's the other.
Well, one more important note about today, league-wide, My Cleats, My Cause is in effect, and we've got a whole list of Carolina Panthers that are participating. This is something that is near and dear to a lot of folks' hearts. something very special to you as well.
Well, the My Cause, My Cleats initiative is really something that gives the guys an opportunity to really speak to what's on their hearts and what's on their agendas. You know, obviously they put their time and effort and energy into being the best ball players they can be, but you got to have a life off the field, and a lot of these guys have things that have affected them throughout their lives that have really put them in a position where they are today. They didn't get here on their own, so a lot of them pay homage to the organizations that have helped them along the way, and it's a tremendous cause that the NFL gives these guys an opportunity to do that, to pay homage to those organizations. And so I look to see a lot of great cleats out here today, and it's going to be a great game against these Atlanta Falcons.
All right. Well, before we leave, your prediction for today?
I would say 21-13 Panthers. That's what I'm looking for.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this edition of the Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN. I'm Kevin Tolbert along with Colin Cole. We'll see you after the game.
Okay.